Welcome back to the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast with your host, me, Goat for Real 216. This is the podcast where we pop the hood, we open the trunk, and we get down and dirty about the real behind the scenes of the automotive industry. Want to thank you for tuning in today. Want to thank our sponsor, Credit Saint. Are you tired of being held back by bad credit? With Credit Saint, you can take control of your financial future and unlock the doors to way better opportunities. Join the community of satisfied customers. You know, they've got over 14,000 five-star reviews on Google, which, by the way, you can't fake that. Experience the personalized credit repair services that help you rebuild your credit score and achieve your dreams. Call 855-279-6799. That is 855-279-6799. Credit Saint will get you on the road to financial freedom today. You deserve it. You owe it to yourself. Do that. Credit Saint, thank you very much for sponsoring this podcast. I'd also like to thank our guest today. I do my best to bring on entertaining and interesting people in the automotive space and present them to you in a manner that you may not otherwise see. If you like this podcast, and I'm sure you do, please like, share, follow, subscribe, make a post-it and put it on the bathroom at the rest stop. I don't really care how you get it out there, but get this podcast out there. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube, any place where you get your podcasts. In all seriousness, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the show. I have a very exciting guest for us today. You can thank me later by subscribing and sharing and liking and following. You know, I don't even care if you take a post-it and put it on a rest stop bathroom wall. Just get it out there. Get this podcast out there, because I got people like RafiMoosh on my podcast. Guys, RafiMoosh, superstar in the making, social media star already, content, fire, humor, fire, awesome dude, very good friend of mine, getting closer as every day goes by, which I'm excited about. RafiMoosh, how are you, bud?
How's it going, man? Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
RafiMoosh isn't your real full name, so you want to give us your name?
Actually, it's very close. Full name is RafiMoosh Mooshian.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, I shortened it a little bit. It was too long.
It makes for a good TikTok handle, though.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. No, that's great. Well, as you guys know, I like to bring guests on here who are going to do a few things. They're going to be real. They're going to be genuine. They're going to talk about the automotive industry in a very transparent manner and pop the hood and open the trunk and get us a behind the scenes look at automotive as well as some other stuff. So I want to get started. Can you give us a little bit about RafiMoosh? I mean, tell us about your journey, what brought you to where you are today.
Honest truth, I couldn't tell you how I got to where I am now, but I could tell you what led to it. You know, out of high school, I started working at a gym as a front desk salesperson. Within 6 months, I got promoted to the assistant general manager of the gym. And then they moved me to another location. I was managing 2 locations, and, you know, then COVID hit, so I had to leave that. 3-4 months into COVID, I had my own vending machine business, and, you know, I was selling technically still by going to locations, selling myself, my machines, my company, which worked out pretty well. And then it became a little too much to handle, and I wasn't in a position yet mentally to handle a full company. So I sold the company and I started working at a dealership. You know, it was maybe 3 years and a little bit. A little bit after 3 years that I ended up leaving the dealership just to focus more on content. But while I was at the dealership, the ideas of content and creating skits and just funny memes, but in an automotive space, started coming about in my head, and I started making 1 or 2 videos here and there. One thing led to another. One video popped off, and now we're here, I guess.
I gotta ask you, brother. I mean, maybe it's because I'm an old fart, but like, and you're much younger. Where does this creativity come from? The skits, the ideas, brother. I mean, how do you come up with it?
Honest truth, I have to give a lot of credit to 3 main people. Tito Suave being one. He was the original car sales guy. I got a lot of content ideas from him. I probably copied a couple of his videos too early on. 2, of course, Russ Phillips. He's like the king of car sales right now, at least car sales content. And in my opinion, he makes some really, really funny skits that are also very informational. So definitely someone that I looked up to when I first started making the videos. And 3, Javon Banks also makes some very, very funny content. I think his content is the closest with mine, just because of the skits and the characters and all that stuff. So that's where that comes from. But also just being in car sales, if anyone would know also, car sales is very similar across the board. So experiences I have are relatable to everybody. Yeah. So whatever I've gone through, I just made a video about it, and it started, you know, taking off. Like all the cartel videos. I know,
but some of the stuff you come up with is just, I mean, there are times I was telling somebody the other day that if I ever want to laugh, like if I'm just in a bad mood, I promise you there's a handful of guys that I search up, go to their stuff, and you're in it. I mean, it's hard to watch your content and not giggle. I mean, you
I
you
appreciate that.
are
I
a
really do appreciate that.
genuinely funny person. And the cool thing is that your humor, although it can borderline on edgy, right? Which I think is good because
So much.
that gets, people love that stuff. It's never offensive. And it would never make me not want to buy something from you, whether you're in a dealership or you were doing something else. I would never be like, oh man, I wouldn't buy, because I can tell that it's in jest. It's tongue in cheek. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a great talent to have. So
I appreciate
congratulations.
that.
I'm very
I
jealous.
definitely walk on a fine line. It's like
Yeah.
a what do they call it? A slack line. But
Yeah.
for the most part, it's pretty tame. It's something too crazy. I have had a couple DMs and reviews on the dealership page
Yeah.
that is not the best thing, but I
Yeah.
usually get them cleared up.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you in retail right now? Are you in, or are you just creating right now? Give us a little bit about what you're.
As of right now, it's been about a year and maybe a month or two where I've actually just been doing content. So I actually no longer, shocker, work at a dealership anymore. I just do content there now at the dealership I used to work at. So
Oh,
as of
that's
right
cool.
now, no, just doing content.
Yeah. Now, is there a crossover there in business? Do they somehow benefit from letting you do that?
So it's not necessarily direct or tracked, but there's a lot of people that come in and they look for specific cars that have been in the videos, or they ask if I'm around, they want to work with me, but I'm obviously not there, so they work with someone else.
Yeah.
So they do get some marketing and advertisement off of it.
Yeah.
And the dealership is kind of recognized by just the imagery of the dealership now. Like people walk in like, wait a minute, isn't that one dealership? And all of a sudden they trust it more because they're on social media, which is a really funny thing. But I'm sure they gain some type of benefit off it, or else they wouldn't let me keep doing it.
Yeah. I would know if I walked into 5 dealerships, I would be able to pick easily the one that you work out of. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I would
Yeah.
just know by the background and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Great stuff, man, with the content. Question. So what's a common misconception that people have? I'm going to call you a full-time creator now, because it sounds like that's what you are now, in my opinion, my humble opinion.
I agree with it.
I think that's where your future is. But what's a common misconception about being a full-time creator?
I guess the biggest misconception is that it's not really a full-time job. I mean, I'm actually busier now than when I used to work at a dealership in terms of, how much I'm doing. Obviously, when I worked at the dealership, there was a lot of downtime. I'd sit around, but I'd be there for like 14 hours. But now it's like I'm driving from one location to another location and doing videos with this person, with that person, sitting and brainstorming, editing, working on the next project. So it really is a full-time job. It might not be the most rewarding sometimes, but I am definitely working more than 7-8 hours a day on a video or two, and there's no
Yeah,
weekends. So
yeah, between the editing and then taking meetings and then probably, taking potential brand deal opportunities and talking to those people, it is full time. Here, I'm an average creator. I consider myself an average creator.
you're definitely above average. You're way above average. You know that.
You know what? Here's the problem. I'm gonna tell you the problem. I'm gonna tell you the difference between me and you. You ready? I'm 50. I'm a little fat. I got wrinkles. I lost a bunch of weight recently, but yeah, anyway. But I'm a little fat, and I don't like. So I edit my stuff a lot. Like there's a lot of clips, a lot of cuts in my stuff. Kid like you can just sit there and make one long video. You ain't got to edit nothing. You're jacked. You're a good looking kid. You
I
got the
appreciate
beard.
that.
You got the 5 o'clock shadow going on. I mean, you don't got to edit nothing. I mean, so like for me, being an average creator, not even full time, it's a full time job. And I
So
don't post.
I feel that as well. Your content is a lot harder to edit, I think, than my content is.
Yeah,
Most of my stuff is done on the fly, and like it's one clip, then another clip, then another clip. I just edit the ends of it, maybe a little bit on the inside, but it's really fast. But your content takes a while to edit because you're recording all the time. There's a lot of footage to go through, and
yeah,
I see that. As I do think yours is a little bit harder than mine.
yeah, yeah. And I tell you what, I mean, if I looked like you, I would just live stream all day.
Man, come on, I want to see all
Yeah,
that.
I don't know, like you. I mean, listen, you got Russ, who in shape, good looking kid, has the look and everything. Then you got like dealer plate guy. That guy should be on a GQ magazine. You know what I mean? Like you guys are so lucky. Then you got me. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, you're a great looking guy. You're
Yeah.
playing, man.
Hey, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to get inappropriate. I don't want to get in any trouble, but yeah, I do all right for an old guy. You know what I mean?
I think you do great. I think we all know that too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. You're awesome, dude. I love it. What trends or changes are you seeing, either automotive industry related or creator content related? What are you seeing right now? What's coming down the pipe?
Honestly, in both aspects, I'm seeing car sales is moving way more towards digital. And it's pretty obvious to say that everyone knows that it's moving very, very digital, online, and social media based, essentially, for car sales.
Yeah.
And then for content creation, everyone is becoming a content creator. And I get it. It's rewarding. It's stuff that you do for fun. Like when I first started doing it, it was for fun. And I started getting paid, and I was like, wait a minute, I can actually make this a thing. So it's becoming, I guess, more and more prevalent for all industries, not just automotive. It's just everything is moving to social media. It's becoming the most powerful tool for advertising, most powerful tool for selling. It's for selling, most powerful creativity center. Like there's a lot to do with social media that you can turn into a hobby, into a business. You can advance your business. There's a lot. So that's kind of what I'm noticing with everything. It just intertwines.
Tell people that, if you're going to work in a car dealership, if you want that life, being in the car business, that's fine. And I miss it right now. I'm not in the store right now. And I wake up every morning. All I want to do is call deals into the bank and negotiate and get a deal approved and pencil it and go close it. It's in my
Yeah,
blood. But I tell guys, if you're going to be in a dealership, content creation is the best side hustle in the world.
100%,
Is there
100%.
can't there's there
You're just
hustling.
you're just recording what you're doing already.
It's not extra work if you want. Now, if you want to do skits like you do, or Russell, or whatever, you got to put some thought into it and whatever. But like for me, I like the behind the scenes, which means I just set my phone up and I hit record. Boom, let's go. You know what I mean? So, but you're right. It is a full-time job. I don't think, and that's Robbie, I think that you're right on point. I don't think people understand the level of commitment to being high-level creator like yourself. Anybody can make some videos, but 500,000 followers, whatever, I mean, did that? You've put,
It gets tough. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's no joke, right?
yeah. That's the part people don't understand. And honestly, I was there too when I first started making content. I would make fun of like TikTokers, like, oh, like they don't even have a real job, and it's so unfair. Now I see it, But don't get me wrong, there is like some content creators that literally just post themselves talking, and because they're pretty or because they're good-looking guys, girls, they just get views. They post their body type of way. I feel like that's very low-level content. I don't think that's fair personally, but it's the world we live in. It is what it is.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I haven't seen you pull your shirt off or anything in any videos. Oh, wait, I did see one.
there was
You
one.
did,
There was
you
one.
did do one. You did do one.
There was one selling a car in the summer and it was hot, so the shirt was off. I was tanning. It was that video.
I
So
remember that. That was awesome. How'd that video do?
that video did pretty well. I think it got a little bit over. Actually, I can't even tell you. At last I checked, it was over a couple 100,000 views. I don't know if it got more than that now, but that was a while ago. So I'm assuming it's probably more than that now.
Dude, if I took my shirt off on camera, I'd get banned.
So there's some privilege to it. That's actually my point is that some people, they can just look good on camera and boom, they're making content, they're making views, which again, life's unfair, but that is unfair. It is what it is.
So,
Um,
but you're bought in. I feel like this is you. Am I right? This is where
I think so. I think so too. Now, it might not be the car sales content forever. I think my page is really more of a comedy page than a car sales page because I've noticed when I do some videos that aren't really, automotive based, they still do well. Like I did a real estate video. I made fun of all the fires in California, where I'm at. I made fun of that, like the insurance companies leaving California. That video in 2 days did 1.4 million views. It had nothing to do with car sales. So I
that
think I
goes
think my
to
page is
show.
more comedy.
Yeah, but right, and that goes to show your talent. And I'm not gassing you up here. And we have had this conversation before. That goes to show. I mean, I think you're built for this. I really do.
I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that.
you know but there is that pivotal moment, I think, from knowing some bigger creators like yourself, where you make a decision like, I'm going after
This is
this.
what I'm gonna do, or am I gonna keep it at the level I'm at? Yeah, yeah. There was
Yeah,
there was that
right.
moment for me too. So
Yeah, so what's that? Give me a pivotal moment that shaped your perspective or career path. Like, give me a moment where you were like, where it clicked and you were like, this is who I am, this is what I want to be. Did you have that moment?
I did, yeah. So there was November 2023. It was a very bad month for me in the industry, car sales industry. It was a horrible month. I
Really?
got, I think, I want to say maybe like 9 or 10 cars out for the month. But the way my pay plan worked was you need to have at least 12 to hit your bonus structure, right? So I worked all the hours. I was there the whole month, but I barely made $4,000 in the month, which for Los Angeles, that's horrible.
That doesn't even pay
That's
your rent in LA,
that
does it?
that didn't even pay. That didn't pay anything. Like, luckily, my mortgage is low, but for all my bills, I told you I take care of my family. For those that don't know, I take care of my mom and dad. My dad is sick, so I was like, wow, this is really, really bad. I don't know what I'm gonna do for next month. I was already kind of working on a check to check basis because of all the new expenses that we had and all the medical bills and everything. So I was like, okay, this might be it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. That same month, without realizing, I was in the Creator Rewards program. It was my second month in the program. The first month was October on TikTok, and I made like $8 because I signed up on the last day of October. November, I ended up making almost $5,000, and
Just in
that
the creator
saved
fund.
just on the Creator Fund.
Yeah.
So that saved me for the month, and I was like, okay, this could really be it. And that's when I was like, you know what? I can spend more time doing this and another business than spending the 12 hours a day here. So that month is the month where I left in the industry for a little bit. And then from that month to December, I gained about 15,000 followers on Instagram, like 20,000 on TikTok. From December to January, I gained 70,000 on each one. So 140,000 combined.
What do you
Followers.
attribute that to? I mean,
It was
crazy.
just more time to focus on making the content, more time to brainstorm, looking at trends in the algorithm and what really like takes off. So it made everything a lot easier to deal with and work on. And it made higher quality content that I would have been restricted with if I was still working at a dealership. So that's where that pivotal moment you're talking about comes in of, do I stay doing this or do I try to advance that? And it worked out pretty well for me. So
how long were you in the car business?
it was either, I don't remember, honestly, I don't remember exactly when I started at the dealership that I was at, but it was either just over or just under 3 years.
Okay,
But
so
in
you put
sales,
some time in. You're a
yeah,
car. I
I've
mean,
been there. And then my entire family, like my sister was a finance director for almost 7 years for Mercedes. She was finance and then finance director. All my cousins, they worked at their own dealerships. They owned a couple used car lots, and now they're GSMs and desk managers at a Mercedes dealership. So my family's been in it for a while, so I've always seen it. I've always had experience with it. Like when I walked into my first day, I knew what a lease was. I knew what residual was. I knew what rates were like. I'd have to learn that 2-3 month curve of like what is the automotive jargon that we're talking about.
yeah, that's a big
So
advantage.
I was in it for 3 years, but it was like a seasoned 3 years because I was kind of already in the space.
Right. So you were already a little bit of a veteran by default, just, by by
Close. I
attrition.
wouldn't say veteran fully, but I was definitely a sales vet because I was doing sales, just not automotive for a little bit. But I wasn't fresh out the box. I wouldn't say I was a green pea.
Right. Yeah. Right. You were in a rook. So
Yeah.
what was your best month in sales? I mean, what was your because here between you and I, as a former owner of a dealership and a GM and sales manager, whatever, you walk into my store, you ain't getting out without me hiring you. You know what I mean? If I talk to you for 5 minutes, I mean, that kid's working for
appreciate
me.
that.
Yeah. And I mean, so what was your biggest month? Tell me your biggest success.
It's not going to be as much as you think because the way I am as a person, I know there's a lot of, and your podcast is called "Everyone Hates Car Salesmen." There's a reason for that because a lot of car salesmen, they do try to focus more on the commission and the quick buck. I was a very, very, very customer advocate oriented salesperson. So there would be some deals, and I might be ashamed to say it, that I would sabotage a little bit to save the customer money because I really felt bad for people. I had some people that were willing to pay 5,000-10,000 over when I knew my manager would do, $1,000 markup at the most, at the minimum. I mean, so I would sabotage the deal. So it wasn't as much as you think, but the best month I had was like 3 consecutive months of 22 to 23 cars a month,
Okay.
which
What
at
kind of
that
cars?
dealership, it was pretty good at that dealership, considering we had, I think at the time, 45 salespeople, and we were pushing like 800 cars a month.
What kind of dealership? What makes? What models?
It was Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Believe it or not,
They sell 800 cars a month?
they were between 700-800 when I first got there. Now it's probably close to like 400 cars.
And that's
But
in
that's used.
LA?
That's used and new. LA, yeah, used and new.
But that's a monster organization. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was
45
it was it was
salespeople is
intense.
nuts.
I didn't know it was that crazy until I started talking to other salespeople at other dealerships. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, is it light or?" And that's when I found out they were really doing volume. It's
Yeah.
slowed down now, but you get the idea. It was way more back then. But I think it was like 22 cars a month. My best month was 22 cars, and the paycheck, I think before tax, like 24 for the whole month, which
Yeah.
is amazing. So
Yeah. You're like,
that
oh
was
my
the best
God,
month.
I'm in heaven. This is
Yeah,
heaven. Yeah. Like,
this is
where am I?
ridiculous. All the
Yeah.
markup,
Well,
the TRXs, Hellcats.
but to your point, Rafi, I sense a genuine person inside of you that genuinely does care about the people around you. And yes, you might have given up some gross, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
You
I
might
gave
have.
up a lot of it. I
Okay.
definitely
Well,
gave up a lot.
a little or a lot. I mean, if you're doing that for a customer, still you're conveying a subliminal or a subtle message or subconscious message to the customer, even though they might not realize what you did for them, they can definitely pick up on the fact that you care about them. And so I would venture to say that that probably got you more volume than you would have got if you were a gross monster. And,
That's what it was. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it probably didn't cost you as much as you think. And that's contagious. That's good for a store. As a guy who runs stores, the guy like you're running around and you're that kind of person, that's contagious and that spreads throughout the culture. So there's a benefit to the whole store of having a guy like that in there because everybody kind of buys into the culture. And, so there's money that's made that you can't count by having a guy like you in the store. And,
I think it's important to have a balance of that. You have to have your gross monsters, your sharks, then you have to have your actual customer advocates and the ones that actually just want to just do the job of just selling cars, make some money. Morally.
So
that makes sense.
So a big space right now, and when I say big, we both know somebody who is making ungodly amounts of money doing this. And my question for you is, and we haven't talked about this, so I'm going to catch you off guard a little bit. Would you ever consider training people on how to do social media correctly?
I have considered it before, but I still consider it now. I don't have the channels or the pathways to actually get into that. It's a little tough to go to a dealership and say, hey, I need X amount of money and I'll come in, I'll teach your salespeople how to do content, But I have thought about it before. It's definitely something I'm open to. And I think personally I'd be great at it. I mean, when it comes to content, it's just, it comes to the experience I had in the past. Before I got into car sales content, the reason why I was open to it was I had an ex-girlfriend that was a content creator. I helped her with all her content. We built up her page. So I kind of experienced that. I learned how the content goes, how to make certain videos. You can't make every video go viral, but you can do certain things to give every video a chance to go viral. Like there are certain things you have to do that if you don't do them, no matter how good of a video the video is, it's not going to go viral because you didn't do certain like checkpoints, So I already had an idea about how to do things. So that's why I thought, I can get into this. But having that knowledge, it applies to anything. Car sales content, real estate content, restaurant content. So I definitely have thought about it and I'd be open to it.
Yeah, I think that you would be very good at it. You're an eloquent speaker. You're a genuine person. And you seem like a patient person that would take the time and go through the steps with people. And, because it's like when you get a guy like my age, I do some training. You know what I mean? I get a guy like my age who wants to learn how to do it or whatever. Brother, I barely have the patience for some of the questions. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is the basics. Come on.
Yeah. But it's okay. I mean, it's the basics to us because we do it, but to everybody else, it's like
it's new content, and that's the idea. It's like it's new to them. It might make sense to you, but this is all new to them. That's why for me, it's getting that mind space of where are they at. That helps me teach people and show people. So
yeah,
I think it's a fun thing to do too.
Yeah, for sure. So far, I mean, how old are you?
If you had to guess, what would you think?
26.
Close, 24.
Oh, are you really 24? When's your birthday?
2000, May 1st. I'll be 25 in 4 months.
May 1st. Okay, so you're a Cancer.
Taurus.
No, Taurus. You're Taurus. Yes, I'm sorry. That's right. Gotcha. So you're 24. Gotcha. So you're a full-time creator. Love it. What's been your best? What's been your biggest challenge so far? Either automotive, personal, or creator?
Honestly, I'd say with the creator aspect, monetizing further, like past just the, TikTok pay or YouTube pay or, brand deals. None of that stuff is really set money. You don't really know what you're going to make next month. You can hope for the best and hope your videos do good. They might not. So the biggest challenge or obstacle that I'm still trying to overcome is finding a stable source of income within all this, making my own business or making my own offer or product or something that makes me a certain amount that I can use my Instagram or TikTok, YouTube to promote, but also kind of make my money myself, like get myself paid rather than wait for TikTok or YouTube to pay me.
Right. So you're in that space where I believe that your goal is to turn it into a business. Like Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what you're trying to do is build the RafiMoosh brand, right?
That's kind of, that's what we're going for right now. So
that's awesome. Well, dude, I think you're definitely on your way. What would you say your most proudest moment or achievement is?
I'm not even gonna lie, not to sound like conceited. I have a lot of them. I'm just trying to think of like something that I could really say was the proudest moment.
Yeah, like what's gonna go on your headstone? You know what I mean? Like this guy did this. You know.
I honestly I couldn't even tell you because none of my achievements are labeled achievements by me. It's by other people. To me, it's just I'm just trying to do certain things, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't even know like what it really is. I think what it was for me was my first video hitting 1 million views. I guess that's the first time I was like, whoa, maybe I can do this. So I'm sure I have better achievements or I have better stories to tell. It wouldn't be a story that I would tell because I don't view
Yeah.
them as achievements. I view
Well,
them
I
as
think,
business.
but that mentality, Rafi, is going to take you wherever you want to go because
I hope
that
so.
means that you're
I
a
hope so.
perfectionist and that means you're never satisfied. And guys that I know that have that mentality instead of being, all full of themselves, like, look what I did, they're like, yeah, that's not really a big deal. Those are the guys, they're constantly trying to impress themselves. And so they just go to higher and higher heights. And I think you have that in your DNA. I think that's going
That's
to be
yeah. I say
very
so too.
valuable.
I don't think, I'm doing enough at the same time of doing a lot, if that makes sense. People tell
Yeah.
me like you need to slow down, you need to not do things, like focus on one thing. I never feel like I'm doing enough or that I can't be doing more. That's
Yeah.
always that mentality in the back of my head of I can also do this, I can do that, I can do this. So
What are you driving?
nothing crazy, just an Audi S5.
Okay, I mean, we got the red light. I mean, kind of hot, right? No, just hey, there you go. Nothing crazy,
It
just an
looks good.
S5. Just an
It
S5. Just nothing big. You know what I mean?
it looks good. It looks good for sure. The Starlights, that was actually free, so I don't know if you can see those in the
I can see. Yeah, yeah. Well, the reason you don't think it's a big deal is because you live in LA. Like
There's
you're
also
probably
that too, yeah. Yeah, like if you're driving on the streets, like you go to Rodeo Drive, you see at least 3 Lambos next to you at all times. Oh,
Cullinans.
it's
I mean, everything.
Collins everywhere. My basic gym, that's $30 a month. I pulled up this morning, there was 3 Rolls Royces, 1 Cullinan and 2 Ghosts. 2
Really,
Ghosts of all things. Just parked
really,
next to each other. I swear.
right.
I
That's
was like,
awesome.
okay, let's
Have you
I
ever?
gotta get one, I guess.
Yeah, I got to work that out in the
Imagine.
brand deal. Hey, well, by the way, I need a car. You know what I mean? What have you? So being in LA, I mean, I've never been, so I'm going to sound a little bit like a fanboy. Famous people, celebrity people connected with. I mean, do you see them at Starbucks in the morning? I mean, how's that go?
It depends on the areas you're at. You'll definitely see a lot of people that are more known, famous, like we're talking like J. Cole or Drake. It's a little harder to, come across them.
Yeah.
I've personally like, okay, it's funny story that I think I can talk about now. It's what's today's date? I had an NDA for this. 1 second.
Oh,
Let me
did
see
you?
if NDA is
What a flex! I love it.
okay. Okay, I can talk about it now.
Okay.
There was a party. You know Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's from Cleveland.
So he had a birthday party out here. It was his birthday party.
Yeah.
So he was there. Megan Fox was there.
Yeah.
J. Cole was there. LeBron James, Anthony Davis. They finished the basketball game. They flew out and they were there. It was insane. So
And you
they're
were
all
at this.
at the party.
You were there at this party.
I was there at the party too. I have pictures that I really can't show. If
Yeah.
any photos we're allowed to have,
Okay.
but it was insane. Like they emptied out the pool. The whole pool was like massive balloons and like glitter. There was open bars everywhere. There was a VIP area on the second floor of the house that you're not allowed to unless you're allowed to.
Yeah.
But they had armed security everywhere. It was a really fun party. But they were all just there hanging out. So depending on where you are, you'll see all of them. But for the most part,
Questions. So 2 questions I gotta know. Well, one, how did you get invited to this party? How do you end up in the same house as LeBron James and Machine Gun Kelly?
so one of my friends, her name is Anush. I haven't talked to her in a while. I should hit her up, but she's basically a talent agent for not the biggest names, but some pretty big names. So Alabama Luella Barker.
Yeah.
So her and her dad, she's their agent, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
so she gets invited to a lot of these events, and this one particular event, that Machine Gun Kelly's birthday party, she didn't have anyone to go with because it was a last minute invitation. So she asked me and my friend Richard to go with her, and we're like, yeah, I'm down. I didn't know whose birthday party it was. I didn't know anything because again, we're not allowed to know until we got there. We went, we signed the NDA, they let us in. I walk in, the first thing I see is Megan Fox walking across with blue hair, and I was like, is that? I looked at her, she's like, yeah, this is Machine Gun Kelly's birthday. I was like, that's insane. You didn't tell me this. I would have dressed nicer. I didn't know.
This
So
is
it was
happening
just,
right now. Yeah.
yeah, this is happening right now. I had no idea. So
Right.
just random like things will happen in LA. It's a fun place.
It's crazy. That is awesome. Dude, what a great story. Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly's from the east side of Cleveland.
See, I actually didn't know that, and I hate to say it, I wasn't the biggest MGK fan. I don't know much of his music. I don't listen to much of his music, so I didn't really know anything about him. when I was there. So
All
I
I
felt
know is that
bad.
Eminem erased him off the planet. That's all I know.
That's all I know.
Right, that's all I know. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the second question on that is, please tell me that, and I don't know what your status was on social then, but please tell me that somebody recognized you from TikTok, like one of these celebrities.
None of the celebrities, but
Okay.
one person did. And it's
Okay.
actually also really funny because the whole time we were there was like a pool table room. They have like 3 pool tables. We're all playing pools. People are playing darts and ping pong. So I'm sitting there playing pool with my friend Richard. Anush went somewhere else. And we're sitting there and like everyone has this vibe of we don't want to talk to you unless you're someone. That's the entire vibe of the party.
I get it.
We didn't care. I was still fresh to social media, so I didn't really care too much. I was like, whatever, it is what it is. So I'm playing pool with my friend, and some guy from across the room, no way, you're the dealership guy. And I was like, he's talking about me? And he goes, like, yeah, you're Rafi, right? RafiMoosh. I'm like, RafiMoosh, but yeah, that's me, you know? He's like, can I take a picture with you? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Took a picture of me. He's like, dude, I work security right down the street from your dealership, blah, 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 blah. Talking to me for a cool minute. And then, that blew over. We started playing our game. Next thing I know, our tables surrounded. They're watching us play pool. Everyone wants to get to know us. Oh, I'm this girl. I'm that girl. I'm this guy. I looked at my friend and I told him we both speak Arabic and the other languages. So I told him in Arabic, let's get the hell out of here. I don't want to be around these people. Like I don't like that vibe. So
No.
we left the game midway through and we just walked out to another place.
Did
But
you
yeah, that was
really?
the only person that recognized me.
Dude, there's your story right there. There's your moment. Or I mean, right now that's a highlight. I mean, you're in.
See, I wouldn't even think that. I didn't do that. Someone else brought me there, so I don't
Right,
think I really achieved it,
right,
So
right.
it's just
Dude,
that mentality of it.
what a great story. I mean, I can't, I'm not built for that type of crowd. Like, I'm more of like you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't rub elbows with people.
I don't either.
I have rich
I didn't
friends.
enjoy it.
I have friends that have money, and I have, I mean, successful people that I know or whatever. But like, for me, I would not know what to say if, LeBron walked up and was like, "What's up, dude?" Like, I'd probably be able to squeak out a "What's up," but I couldn't. I don't know how long I'd hold the conversation. Not because I am intimidated by him. You have so little in common with people when they get that famous. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So you can't really hold conversation. But
They
that's where
talk
the
a different.
salesperson in me like takes over. Like for example, J. Cole was walking by. I was at this point where I was drinking a little bit too, so I was like a little more outgoing. I was walking by J. Cole and I was like, oh, what's up, man? He goes like, hey, what's up, man? What are you doing here? Like, I don't even know the guy. I've never met him. I've never talked to him. He has no idea who I am. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you doing here? He's like, man, what are you doing here? I was like, bro, I don't know. Just kept walking. It was just a very quick conversation, and it was just funny. He was laughing, I was laughing, and moved on. It's the
Dude, that is.
salesperson that takes over the instinct.
I could hear about this story for forever. So okay, so
There's a
LA,
lot.
cool place. So you've been around some celebrities, some kind of public royalty people. I know it's a different vibe out there. I've never been there, like I said, but I do want to make my way out there at some point. Is
You
that
should.
where you see
Definitely should.
yourself? Will you always be a Cali guy?
I think so. I definitely think so. I've gone on trips and stuff to different. Speaking specifically just on climate, I've been to areas with like more snow, more rain. I really couldn't do it. I'll stick with the wildfires and earthquakes all day long. I can't do tornadoes and hurricanes, and so I think for me it's
Bro,
always gonna be LA. Plus, just I don't like actual LA itself. Like a lot of people that don't really know LA, they think all of Los Angeles is like the hustle bustle.
we
It's
do,
not.
yeah.
There's Beverly Hills. That's like the Rodeo Drive. Everyone knows about that. There's a lot of hustle bustle there, expenses there. You have downtown. It's like New York on steroids. It's a whole different. I've been to New York too. Could never do it, but it's like New York on steroids. And then I live a little bit north of LA. It's like 10, 12 miles north in something called the San Fernando Valley. It's a
I've
very
heard of,
relaxed. A lot of people have heard of it,
yeah,
but it's not really LA. It's nothing like Rodeo Drive or downtown. It's like a regular little city, you know.
right. But you're
So
close
it's
enough that if you want to go and get in that vibe, it's right.
exactly. It's like right there.
Yeah,
It's a only hour drive because of traffic, but other than that, it's like right there.
that's
But
awesome, man. That's
I
so
couldn't I
cool.
couldn't do the whole LA vibe, the Rodeo Beverly Hills vibe. I can't do it.
So I know enough about you on a friend level to know that your family is number one. I mean, that's very important for you. So do you have a
Yeah.
big family? Maybe brothers,
Two
sisters?
two older sisters, quite a bit older. One's 9 years older, and one's 12 years older. So I'm like the baby of the family. I think I was an accident, but best accident ever, in my opinion.
We were all accidents, dude. Don't ever let your parents tell you that they planned you. They didn't.
No. It was
Trust
an
me.
accident. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
not planned. I already know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I have my two older sisters. They have their husbands, their kids. So I have three nieces and a nephew.
Everybody's in
Um,
LA. Everybody's in that area.
everyone's in the same area. Yeah, we're all in the same area.
That's
And
cool.
I stay now. I'm with my mom and dad. For reasons like I told you before. Just my dad is sick, so I take care of them.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It's part of life. It is what it is. You can't let things affect you. So it is what it is. But that's pretty much the family. Just mom, dad, two sisters, and then my girlfriend, their kids, and their husbands, and that's the family.
Yeah. So that was the next question. Of course, is I'm sitting here thinking, and as I watch your videos, sometimes I look and I'm listening to you from the car standpoint or from the hey that he's so funny standpoint, but there's got to be, 100,000 girls looking at that video going, wonder if that dude's single. Yeah, as a TikTok star, good
Not
looking
as
young
much as
kid.
not as much as you think. I get more
Oh,
guys actually hitting me up than
I get
anything.
guys. I get
There's
guys.
a lot. There's a lot. Like
Yeah,
I already know that if everything in my life fails, OnlyFans is like my last resort if I really needed to.
right.
It's
You're
there,
gonna
you
do
know.
great. You'll do great.
Yeah, I'd really rather not, but but there's a lot more guys than girls hitting me up. Either way, I have a beautiful girlfriend that I don't think anyone could top. So for
No, was she in the video?
she's so that one girl that's in all my videos, the green eyes,
Yeah,
lighter hair,
yeah.
that's my girlfriend. She's the girl that plays all the roles in my video.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
She's
There,
absolutely gorgeous.
that's awesome. Good for you. So here's a tricky one. Might have we need some thought behind this, but three people. If there were three people that you could go have dinner with, alive or unalive, who would they be?
That's a really good question. I'm gonna need like 20 seconds on this one.
You want to circle back?
I'm still gonna have to think
Go
about
ahead. Go ahead.
it.
Yeah, I see the gears turn.
Three people that I could. Elon Musk for sure. That's one.
One,
Mark Zuckerberg. That's two.
two. I like it.
And the original Wolf of Wall Street.
Jordan Belfort.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. He's an intriguing figure.
He is. He is.
Very intriguing figure, and a lot more to him than people know. I know a little bit because I'm a fan of his. I like comeback stories. I'd like, because in a different sense, I'm a comeback story. I had a very large car dealership that I owned here in Cleveland. I was the biggest used car dealer in Ohio. I was selling cars on eBay before it was a thing. I was the seventh biggest eBay dealer in the entire world. And we lost that business. I was young and greedy and money hungry, and I lost my values. Long story short, so I had to start over from scratch. And so I like comeback stories. And Jordan Belfort, is there a better
Nice comeback
comeback story? Is there a
Yeah.
better comeback story? To the heights he was at, to be
Yeah. All the way
locked up,
literal
locked up.
lowest point you could be in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then to reinvent himself again is amazing. So I like that. I like that dinner table. I wouldn't mind being at that table. That'd be a good table.
You're always invited. So I mean,
Yeah, I'll drive. I'll drive.
yes.
Yeah, who's the old guy? That's my drive. I like that. I like that threesome. That one's good. So what's something about you people don't know? Give me something, people. Give me a little hidden nugget. Give me something.
trying to think. I'm very open on social media. I think I put everything out there. I'm trying to think what do people not know? Actually, I should say this one. Never mind. Let me think of something else. I was gonna say one real quick, but I was like, nah. Let
You
me
never
think
know
of
who's
something else.
gonna watch. You never know.
I mean, a lot of people don't know. They don't know where I'm from, like my ethnicity, my nationality. Nationality. I'll say that. My mom is Jordanian, Arab, and then my dad is Armenian from Lebanon. So I'm a Lebanese, Armenian, Jordanian, American raised man.
Okay.
Very big mix.
Yeah, but a strong American vibe.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. At the end of the day, I am American regardless. Wherever
Yeah.
my family's from, I was born here. I am huge on patriotism. This is my country, so that comes first.
So I'm just curious. Again, I don't know a lot about you. There's a lot that I don't know about you. Any athletic history? I mean, you look athletic.
A little bit, a little bit. Played soccer, basketball, track and field, a little bit of volleyball growing up. Uh, to this day, I still, play here and there, but I busted my knee actually about 5 years ago. I tore my ACL, LCL, MCL, PCL, and meniscus. It was, horrible injury. So like 12 weeks of full immobilizer from my hip down to my ankle. So I
Wow.
don't play as much like sports anymore, but I still
Yeah.
lift. I go to the gym.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of Muay Thai now just for self-defense and,
Yeah.
cardio.
Yeah.
But
That's
that's
cool.
pretty much that. Just basic stuff. Nothing crazy.
So I want to hear about what's next for RafiMoosh. But before that, if somebody sees you on social, TikTok, whatever, Instagram, whatever your channels are, YouTube, and they go, man, I want to do that. What advice would you give to somebody who sees you and looks at you
Just
and
do it.
says,
Just do it.
that's
That's the biggest thing with everything in life, not just car content or car sales. Literally everything in life is just doing it. It's not hard. It's really not hard. You can look at what a millionaire did to get to where they are, follow what they do step by step, and you will get there.
right,
That's literally how it works.
right?
You can come up with so many ideas, so many business, plans, content ideas, video ideas. If you don't do it, you're not gonna get anywhere. And that's where a lot of people fail is they don't really pursue it. They don't try it. They think about, I could do this, I could do that, but they don't actually take the initiative and take the step to really get it started. And I
Yeah,
think that was one of my biggest problems too when I first started doing certain things, is that I would think this is the idea. Yeah, this could do a lot of money, or this would be very successful, but I wouldn't do it. So I guess my biggest advice is just do it and stay consistent. That's literally it
yeah.
with anything.
That's good advice. It's good that you know that at such a young age because sometimes as somebody who's a little bit older than you, you don't learn that till later, and you're like, man, I could have just. Why didn't I just go for it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and
I
you're,
still look back on certain things and I'm like, why did I not start then? Why didn't I do this back then? Why didn't I do this back then? It's
yeah,
just always in the back of my head. I hate regret.
yeah.
So it bugs me.
Well, that's good advice for anybody that's out there wanting to start. So, what's next? I mean, can you give me a glimpse into the future? What's next for RafiMoosh? I mean,
Like, I don't know what's going to be in the future, but I'll tell you what I'm working towards. Hopefully
go.
is in the future. I'm working on a automotive AI software for dealerships, but instead of being for dealerships, I'm trying to gear it more towards salespeople, like an AI assistant for car sales. I'm working on that. I'm working on a supplement business in LA for just the typical supplements it's like a retail shop of like the typical supplements you get: protein, pre-workouts, stuff like that. And lastly, I'm working on a automotive decor website too. So
Okay.
automotive, furniture, signs for the walls, decorations, certain things that
Yeah.
will just make your house look more like an automotive. Oh, if you have a garage, a neon sign of a Porsche logo,
Yeah. Oh,
so
that
stuff like
sounds
that.
cool. I
Yeah,
love
that's what
it.
we're working on right now.
I love it. And I love that there's a little bit of an automotive foundation behind it. You know what I mean? As a car guy, I can appreciate that. And that's a huge market. So that's smart by you.
That's the idea. Hopefully, we expand a little bit more after that, but that's the main focus right now is actually the
So
decor
somebody
website.
wants to get a hold of you right now because they want to know about your future business endeavors or about, how to do, social media or whatever. I mean, what's your preferred platform where you're most followers and all that stuff? I mean, where could they find you?
For me, it'd be Instagram. My handle's the same on all platforms. It's RafiMoosh, RafiMoosh. But I think the easiest one would be Instagram. I do look at all my DMs. I might not answer all of them because some of them, either I skip over them or I forget to come back to them. I always look at my DMs. Shoot me a DM, respond to my link tree. I was like, who is that? Mailman.
Hey, congrats. They're on a podcast. They have no idea. You're on the
Yeah, I have
podcast.
no
Yeah.
idea in the back.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not giving you any royalties. Forget it. Yeah.
I'll give 1% of my royalties. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I say it'd be Instagram for sure. Either shoot me a DM or click on the link tree and then leave me a form. I'll look at it for sure.
That's awesome, man. So we know where we can connect with you. We know about your upcoming stuff. Anything that you want our viewers, anything you want to leave us with, a wise epitaph thought, anything that you want to leave us with that we should keep, in our heads and whenever we think about Rafi. I mean, give me your.
I'll leave you guys with, I think, the most important piece of advice I've ever heard and actually, listened to and acted upon, which was that life is not about what happens to you. It's about how you react. It's only 10% what happens. It's 90% what you do about it. So you can go through there's a lot of stuff I haven't told you, but there's a lot of stuff I went through that during the car business, before the car business, even now, that I don't really speak about, but it's stuff that for some people with a weaker mindset, they'd be crippled, whether it's mentally crippled, emotionally crippled, financially crippled. It's if you don't get back up and just keep doing what you've been trying to do, you'll never succeed. Nothing easy is worth it, and nothing worth it is easy.
Yeah, great advice. Well, I it's amazing to me that I get to meet people like you because of social media. I never thought, for me to have a friend in LA, who's a social media celebrity who goes to LeBron James and MGK parties and Megan Fox parties. But for me, you're such an interesting person, and I mean that. And you're funny and you're humorous, and you got such a bright future. And if I can even, be a small percentage, just watch it happen. Even I'm super excited, Rafi, and
I appreciate that. I
I
appreciate that.
can't. I appreciate your friendship, and I love that you came on here. So, if anybody wants to get a hold of Rafi, you know where to get him. RaFFIMOOSH, right?
That's correct.
Right. On IG's his favorite platform. But once again, thank you.
Thank you for having
Anybody
me. I appreciate it.
anybody wants to get a hold of him and you didn't write that down, you can just hit me up and I'll put you in touch with him if it's a good reason. But he's got a girlfriend, so I don't want those contacts. Hey, who was that guy? Who's that hot guy? I can't help you.
They'll be talking about you, not me. When they say hot guy, it's you.
Brother, I'll take your scraps, put it that way. No, I appreciate it. Thank you again very much. I'll talk to you soon. And everybody out there, if you like Rafi, if you like this podcast, once again, please like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform you're at. If you got to post it in your pocket, write the Everyone Hates Cars Salesmen podcast on it. Go to the nearest rest stop on the highway and just put it in the bathroom or something. I don't care where you advertise it, but like, share, subscribe, follow. Rafi, you're the man, dude. I love it.
Thank you again for having me. It was a great time.
All right. Thanks again, brother. Talk to you soon.
I'll see you.
Welcome back to the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast with your host, me, Go For Real 216. This is the podcast where we pop the hood, we open the trunk, and we get down and dirty about the real behind the scenes of the automotive industry. Want to thank you for tuning in today. Want to thank our sponsor, Credit Saint. Are you tired of being held back by bad credit? With Credit Saint, you can take control of your financial future and unlock the doors to way better opportunities. Join the community of satisfied customers. They've got over 14,000 five-star reviews on Google, which, by the way, you can't fake that. Experience the personalized credit repair services that help you rebuild your credit score and achieve your dreams. Call 855-279-6799. That is 855-279-6799. Credit Saint will get you on the road to financial freedom today. You deserve it. You owe it to yourself. Do that. Credit Saint, thank you very much for sponsoring this podcast. I'd also like to thank our guest today. I do my best to bring on entertaining and interesting people in the automotive space and present them to you in a manner that you may not otherwise see. If you like this podcast, and I'm sure you do, please like, share, follow, subscribe. Make a post-it and put it on the bathroom at the rest stop. I don't really care how you get it out there, but get this podcast out there. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube, any place where you get your podcasts. In all seriousness, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the show.